My name is Hubert Krenz, and I'm joined here today with Dario Arruda. We are here to talk about iGaming trends. We're gonna talk about the Mill adventure as a company, as a gaming platform provider. We're going to talk about what are the current challenges in today's world of iGaming and some of the exciting products that you are offering. So let's start with the Betpool. This is the big highlight of today and the trends that lead to this product.
Yeah, well, thank you for the introduction, for having me. Yeah, well, the industry, the way we see it, has changed a lot. Starting from the regulation itself and the impact that it has in taxation and the margins that the operators get at the end of the day. We see as well, so compliance became really a burden in all this in this industry. But we see as well a shift in terms of customers' needs, and we see that the trend now is that customers are more educated. We are talking about the millennials that are not the kids anymore. They grew up and now they're up to 40 years old, between 26 and 41, if I'm not mistaken. So they expect better experiences, more entertainment rather than flat time on screen.
Yeah, one of these entertainment forms is live streaming, which we have seen the numbers of viewers and the types of content and the very creative environment has been on the rise for several years, and even it has hit now not only the esports and games but also gaming. We have seen this morning, we have been looking at the statistics, slots as a category is number 13.
Yeah, exactly. So, and number 13 in Twitch, right? On Twitch. So we saw that there are around 45,000 concurrent viewers in the last 7 days for slots. Number 13, number 1 was just chatting and having some World of Warcraft and Dota. And so, yeah, it definitely shows that there is a market out there, that people are craving for this type of content. And to be fair, that was one of the drivers for introducing Betpool. Right. We saw that, yeah, gaming had to become more social, with more interactions. And in the past, I think the operators started offering bonuses to keep the player engaged. Then they introduced another trend was to introduce gamification. If you go to this online, any online casino would be having a progress bar or some sort of gamification with achievements, which they are still relevant. Both of them are relevant, and we feel now the trend with the uptake of streaming and the streaming platforms like Twitch and YouTube Live. We see that the players want to see others playing as well. Yeah,
I think what's even more interesting about live streaming, there is a great deal of value in terms of retention, coming back to your favorite streamer, to be see what the next day brings in terms of shared experiences and wins and thrills, but also the aspect of driving new traffic.
Exactly, yeah, that's a very, very good point. So the Betpool, the original focus, or one of the main focus, is really the end customer, the player. We want to give this interaction that they can play with others, more entertainment rather than gambling only. Then the other uptake is the opportunity that it generates for operators. So operators moved, the big guys that can still go on TV and sponsor ambassadors and football clubs. But majority or a large majority of the operators are working with affiliates, mainly affiliate traffic. And the streamers introduced a new opportunity here. It targets a very specific demographic. Again, I would say mainly focus on the millennials. It's a younger demographic, digital natives, more demanding in terms of products. And this, Betpool creates this opportunity for the streamers as well, as they are able to generate more content. As you mentioned before when we were talking, the pandemic accelerated consumption as well, or increased the consumption of digital content. And I think the streamers are welcoming solutions like Betpool. There is another dimension. There are other two dimensions that I would mention. So for the operator, it generates a new source of traffic. For the streamer, a new source of content to help them produce more content. But as well for the game providers themselves, as you know, every day there is a new game being launched or multiple games being launched. We have this content overload. That we spoke in the past with smart lobbies and how we address personalization to optimize this, presenting this to the customer. But we see with Betpool, we see the opportunity as well to allow the game providers, the publishers, to push content and to educate the end consumer how to consume these games. So instead of just having an intro video showing the story behind the characters, we enable this ecosystem between game providers, operators, streamers, to make a game launch successful with a specific focus. So we see Betpool brings these 4 dimensions for the player, for the streamer, for the operator, and for the content provider.
Yeah, big win-win-win ecosystem for everyone. And I know that one of your key differentiators is actually making it easy for the streamer, right? Because there's more viewers, there's more demand for this online content, and you can make it happen for basically the entry barrier. You're lowering it for the streamer.
Exactly. One key differentiator of our Betpool is that anyone can be the streamer. So it's not that you need to have a contract, an agreement with the operator or with one of the parties involved in this ecosystem. Any player can literally start streaming their session, invite their neighbors or their colleagues from the office, do a Friday beers playing online. Because with Betpool, you can just create your own session, invite your mates, your teams. You can use Twitch if you are a publisher with thousands of followers. Of course, you're going to piggyback on that.
Right.
But this is a unique differentiator that the Betpool offers.
So Dario, one of the other news that the mill has come out with was smart lobbies to solve a problem when it comes to keeping it relevant in the age of content overload. Mm-hmm. Tell us about that.
We launched smart lobbies early last year, and it was again, it's part of our mantra, our DNA. We want to, through technology, data, and ingenuity, we want to find solutions that generate more meaningful interactions with the customers, but as well for the operators that use our platform. And with smart lobbies, we solved a couple of problems in our opinion. One of the challenges that every operator has today is the amount of content, the content overload, as you mentioned, and how to launch all this content. And then if you add to that the complexity with different jurisdictions and the rules with some games cannot be shown in certain territory, cannot be presented, plus the complexity that every individual is different. And again, we go back to how people used to consume content in the past. I don't know if you remember the times of torrents or Napster, or you would go through a list until you can find your content. Today, if you use Netflix, at least when I use Netflix, I wait for Netflix to tell me what I'm going to watch next. I rarely use search, I rarely browse, I just go through recommended to you. And we said, well, we can do this. We can bring this concept. It wasn't an innovation per se. It wasn't our fantastic idea. It was an adaptation of the same concept that Netflix brought to the distribution of video content or audiovisual. We brought it to the casino world. So we solved with smart lobbies. We solved 2 problems. One is this content overload, how to manage it, how to launch it, how to distribute for different markets, different languages, with different jurisdictions. So making life easier for the operator. but as well making all this content, putting some sense in all this content for the player at the end.
Right.
So if you go to any of the brands that currently, our partner brands that run on our platform, you'll see that operational effort is close to zero in terms of maintaining content to the player. And we see an uptake in terms of engagement because all content that appears, all the games that appear to a player, it's relevant to him. So if you play a 3-reel game and you constantly play a 3-reel, or you play more of a specific game provider, or if you play with a specific character, then you will have this content in your face. You don't have to scroll through thousands and thousands of games. So that we see as a big upside for the player.
That's really important to, as you say, to keep it relevant, but that doesn't necessarily have to mean a lot of operational effort,
Exactly.
right? As you say, everything is very easily consumable, so we're often relying on the recommendations and so on. I definitely can imagine customers relaying to that and operations relating to that. Right. Big good effort. So that really rounds up your platform, your gaming platform, making it very well rounded from all different aspects.
Yeah, we were set up with a group of people that have done this before, or we had an experience of working with a tier 1 operator. We knew the challenges that were in the industry. We were very lucky in the timing, because when we set up the Mill Adventure was the time that already in Europe you had all these, every country is a regulated market, right? So we didn't have to build or to work on a Frankenstein. We built a platform from scratch, taking advantage of new technologies, being able to introduce machine learning, AI, in many different aspects. We knew that margins are lower, so operational excellency is a must. We knew that customers are more demanding, so we had to bring this innovation and this convenience in the consumption. And I think we've been quite successful in that aspect.
Yes, there are new trends, new regulations. Everyone knows iGaming is a very fast-paced industry. It doesn't slow down. It gets even faster, and it is important. For me, I know the importance of the right technology to be able to have this agility.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I think that's really the key for us, is to the tool per se doesn't build anything. It's how you use the tool at the end, and what we try to do is to enable us to adapt and to be flexible and to be agile at the end of the day, so we can adapt into new trends, new markets, new restrictions.
And with Betpool, I think you can also start creating, or naturally there will be many different groups of people creating communities, perhaps personalities, where these social interactions can form.
Yeah, of course. We do see that a lot with streamers, actually. We see that streamers, and yeah, we didn't touch much about the impact of this type of traffic that comes with streamers. From our experience, we see that there is a stickiness to the brand. There is a loyalty. Usually, players that come with a streamer, there's a loyalty towards the streamer.
Right.
But as they perceive that as a safe environment, the casino as a safe environment, they tend to be more loyal, so the churn is lower. Yeah, and I think overall it's touching in a lot of positive points, mainly in terms of communities, as you mentioned as well. It's a social interaction. You have your team, you have your companions that you're going to take a challenge more than you isolated spending money.
Right. And yes, you have the chat, you interact with the streamer, and you're in it together, right? So exactly. You're more as a group rather than an individual, but you as an individual are part of it and can share the
thrill. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the streamers, personalities, and anyone can really become a personality, and give it a go. As you say, start with a group of friends and pool together and see where it takes them. So Dario, this has been great. I have learned a lot from the gaming platform provider's perspective on the current trends and how you are creating these opportunities for many parties, creating a new ecosystem in truth. I want to thank you for meeting you today, and I'm looking forward to the next features and next. What are you going to present us with next? Do you have any sneak peeks?
I think we're very focused on connecting some of these pieces together. We do see that, again, we have smart lobbies, we have the Betpool, we launched tournaments very recently, so we do see a big opportunity to connecting these items, not only on site, but as well from a CRM point of view, enabling better communication with the customer.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Pleasure.
Thank you. Pleasure. See you.